you can always go back if you want to watch it again. All right. So today's guests are Mr. Kikwa, Sergeant of.
Good morning.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Awesome. So today we're talking about building resilience in communities through crime prevention. Sounds like a really big topic. So let's get right into it. Crime prevention, building resilience. Big question is how? I know you have to get to some things before you get to how.
Well, what we try to inform our listeners, our country on a whole, is that crime prevention is a holistic effort.
Mhm.
It cannot be solely the responsibility of the police. Hence the reason the team building resilient communities through crime prevention,
Mhm.
right? It's a holistic thing. In other words, community, the entire society of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and visitors alike, must have all hands on deck if we're going to have some meaningful impact in terms of crime prevention. So that's basically what we're saying there. We want everybody to come together,
Mhm.
join hand in hand with the police, do their part to ensure that we prevent crime. Right? It's a task that it is not allocated only for law enforcement. Each citizen have a
Mhm.
responsibility as citizens of their country, and of course visitors alike, to do their part.
Mhm.
So basically, that is what it's about in terms of the team.
Okay. So you're all part of the crime prevention unit. So I need to break it down for me one by one, uh, what you're responsible for and so on.
Okay.
So maybe we can start with
Yeah.
Sergeant Choi.
Yes, well, I'm presently the chairman of the Crime Prevention Unit, and Sergeant Billy is an executive member. Sergeant Quo presently in charge of the Major Crime Unit, so he is the guy in charge of the serious crime. So he will be telling you more about those types of offenses and what to look out for and what not. So those are why we are here, as Sergeant Billy said, is a holistic approach to the team this year for crime
Mhm.
prevention.
Okay.
Okay, good morning to you and good morning to your listening public. Crime prevention is one of our most important functions responsibility of crime being committed. Crime prevention, police officers are not the only person who is responsible for this venture. The public is also have to join, you have to come on board because from my standpoint, crime prevention starts with you,
Mhm.
members of the public.
Mhm.
So we have to do everything necessary to minimize the risk of crime being committed.
Mhm.
We have other functions apart from crime prevention. We have to protect life and we have to detect crime and investigate, bring perpetrator, arrest and to bring the perpetrators to justice through prosecution.
Mhm.
Yes.
My role as the officer in charge
Finished.
of the major crime unit, um, we at the major crime unit is solely responsible for the investigation of homicides, most of which we classify as murders. And these are serious offenses, murders.
Mhm.
And the task in dealing with these offenses lies on the hand of the major crime unit, which I am in charge of.
Mhm. It's a lot of work.
A lot of work,
A lot of work.
tedious.
Yeah. And
Yes.
yourself?
Well, crime prevention is not just, as Sergeant Kwao mentioned, the detection and solving of crime, right? As an organization, we recognize that there is a need to reach people, potential criminals, before they actually become criminals.
Mhm.
And that is where I come in terms of the Police Youth Club, right? It's all a holistic effort on behalf of the organization where we use different methods and means of trying to prevent crime. The idea there is if you see a troubled youth, who might have some issues. Um, Maybe there's no proper parental guidance, they are troubled, they're delinquent. The idea is if as a organization we could reach these young people through the police youth club, then we can be able to effect that change. And that way, instead, before they become criminals or before they choose a path or life of crime, we then can be able to reach them, right? And
Okay.
not only through the police youth club, the organization itself has different programs. Like for instance, the band summer program, right? The band summer program is all geared as well to reach those young people who might be musically inclined and they have not been given the opportunity to play the music, you know. So from the ages of 10 to 15 for this year and well for all the past years, you can join the band summer program, which launches 17th, Monday the 17th of July, and it usually starts from 9 a.m. Right? So if you have children within that age and you want them to be a part of the band summer program, now is the time to register. Also the Coast Guard summer program, which caters for children between the ages of 14 to 18. You see, these are all measures that the organization is taking to help to prevent crime or to prevent persons who might be at risk of becoming criminals, you know, to reach them and let them know that they are special and that they're the better life and there's a better way to choose rather than a life of crime. So crime prevention doesn't only begin with we doing certain things to prevent criminals who are already hardened criminals and already made up their mind to be criminal minded and acts of criminal activities. But for those who might be at risk and don't really show where to go and who can be easily influenced into a life of crime, maybe through poverty or through bad company or through lack of educational, development. We want to reach them before they get there. So all that is part of crime prevention as it relates to the organization.
How many youths do you normally get to? For example, not for example, let me explain. How many youths are in the youth clubs, plus the Coast Guard, plus the band, the music program?
But I'm not sure of the numbers for the band and the Coast Guard, but I can tell you they usually be filled right out. The Coast Guard have two different programs, right? Well, it's not different, it's the same, but they have two segments of the same program. So they have one starting on the 17th, and after that finishes start, just because of the sheer number of young people who want to be registered. The band summer program last year was huge, and they had to extend it in terms of time because of the amount of children. The police youth club, we have a number of about 30 police youth clubs throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines, with an excess of almost 2,000 members. And this year we are camping in St. Lucia, and we have 245 campers, 48 campers, sorry, and that is just the children. And those are not all of the children who want to go to camp. They just can't carry nobody else. You understand? So I'm just saying that these programs actually reach right across the board. And there's a lot of persons, children and adults who are really interested in these programs for their children. And this is the way the organization is really moving to help reduce, detect, and prevent crime.
How do you measure its success? The success of the youth programs
Well, we
in terms of preventing crime, that is.
well, from the police youth club point of view, we did an evaluation some time back, and we tried to find out how many persons from the youth club or who was affiliated with the youth club actually commit, crime or be involved in criminal activities. And it is minimal. I can tell you that, and that's anybody can do the survey for themselves. So that is how we measure the success in terms of crime prevention. But the success go beyond that. When you see these young people have a sense of pride, and like yesterday, the graduation, and the coordinators are there to support their graduates and make sure that they give support. These things mean a lot to these young people, and because of that, you'll see changes even in their behavior, the way they act, the way they speak, the way they conduct themselves. Like for instance, we say no earrings at our meetings and our functions, and the young men want to wear earrings. Yet they will adhere to these rules. Some of them with the airspace, and they don't even bother wear the earring because of what the youth club is instilling. So there are other changes. There are social changes that we wrote about. So these are the way we measure our success.
Okay, great. Now, you can't speak about crime prevention until you address the causes and sources of crime. So let's touch on a few. What are some of the sources or causes of crime?
Well, crime is something we came about and meet people committing, and after we left this earth, we will still have crime. But some of the main causes of criminal activity, it starts with poverty. People, persons believe they grew up in a family where poverty played a pivotal role. The parents could not afford certain things. And especially the youths, with peer pressure, they could go and steal to survive and do other things which is not acceptable in society. Some of these youths, they may start out on a small scale and then they gravitate and commit more serious offenses, robberies, and if you cannot gain from that, they then tends to commit murders, if possible. One of our major problems in terms of crimes being committed is drugs, drug trade, selling of drugs. The problem we are having, we have groups which people may classify as gang, and members of these groups may involve themselves in selling drugs. And another group might be in a particular area selling drugs as well. And they then start a turf war so that they can obtain the market in different areas in St. Vincent so that they could sell their drugs. Another thing is that rivalry, all rivalry. These are things are taking place where if members of groups are not, once they're in rivalry and you may catch a member off guard in a particular area, they tend to say, okay, then we have him now. We can kill this individual because of rival between groups. And some of these killings are senseless. Sometimes when we investigate these matters, the motive behind them, we don't see any strong motive, reason for killing. And that poses a problem. That poses a problem for us as police officers.
As you want to jump in here?
Not really. I will leave it as that. I will get to the serious parts of our exhibition.
Exhibition, which is next week?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
But 30th.
Oh, already? Wow. Time really flying, you know. You mentioned investigations. How do you create the link? Where's the link between investigations and crime prevention?
Okay, well, if we prevent crime, then we won't have to investigate.
Okay.
So that is paramount important, crime prevention. But you see, the way in which murders are being committed now, execution style, shooting in the head, it kind of bring about a scare in the society. So the problem we encounter as officers investigating these crimes is that members of the committee are fearful of coming forward to share information. You have time where a particular area, maybe the Redemption Shops area where crime are prevalent, or the Green Hill area. Once crime are being committed there on a frequent basis, you may find the neighborhood start to go in to their homes at night more earlier. The other ordinary man who have his liquor and provision shops who may open until about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, once business is bright. They tend to close up 5 and 6 because crime are being committed in that particular area. So some of these members of society, law-abiding citizens, will have information which they can share to the police, but because because of fearfulness, they are being reluctant in coming forward
Mhm.
because they believe if they come forward, their life will be in danger somehow or the other.
Mhm.
I would want to interject here as well in terms of the causes of crime. Some of the things that we can't really ignore is lack of proper parental guidance. Understand? Where children are not given the proper structure from home. Lack of father figure. Fathers are the men who are supposed to be fathers playing their roles as fathers. Absentee fathers. And a lot of times you find that these young men, especially, find themselves on the street and in prison because that structure and and even if they might not be rich or you might be in poverty per se, if you'll find that persons with a strong parental structure, like for instance, I consider myself growing up in poverty in terms of where I came from. Understand? I never really had a father, but I had a strong grandmother and a strong mother. Understand? Who would have instilled certain discipline and in me. So you will find that once there's a breakdown in the level of discipline and guidance activities. So, some of these things that as parents, as adults, as society on a whole, and the sergeant mentioned that society are sometimes fearful to come forward because of the heinous crimes that are being committed. But some of the time, society is the one that champions these same criminals. If you look at social media from time to time, when the police is trying to interject, trying to execute their duties, and you will see and you will hear what society says in terms of, and then these criminals feel emboldened because they feel have the support of society, right? And then these same we in our own homes now we are afraid, and then we saw this with and ask, what are the police doing? What is the government doing? But what is the society doing? What are we doing as a society? We can't just sit idly by and throw our hands up in the air and say, oh, there's nothing we can do. We must take a stand against criminal and criminal activities. If the society bond together and call wrong wrong, call a spade, and do not tolerate or encourage criminal activities, and it might start small, it might seem small. If a police officer come to you and said, I have a report against you for XYZ, um, I'm going to arrest you. You have a choice. You can either walk with me to the station or I'm going to have to carry you to the station. If you walk to the station or you go, that doesn't mean because you're arrested, that means you're convicted because the court has to do that. You understand? So people need to learn these things. But instead, what you'll find, the person put up resistance and then everybody around, instead of saying, you know what, just go with the officer, see what they want, XYZ, they defend these same persons. And some of these persons are murderers, they're burglars, and they're criminals. And we are there defending them. But yet, when the table switch, like in sexual offenses, for instance, when a young lady is being raped or sexually assaulted, we say, oh, they beg for that. We didn't go there for. They shouldn't wear this. You know, that kind of thing. So instead of dealing with the criminals in the way they should be dealt, we as a society, we see a switch where we make the victims feel like they are the criminals, and the criminals now feel emboldened. So after they feel so bold that nothing can happen, they make you become afraid to even live in your own home. Now you're timid and now you're afraid. But if as a society we come together and bond together and say, because criminals are few, they are in the minority. Majority of Vincentians are law-abiding citizens, and we need to take a stand. So sometimes these are some of the causes of crime as well. The way the society view law enforcement and how they react when there is a need to enforce the law. And all that could be causes of crime. Well, they are actually causes of crime, in my opinion.
You alluded to the breakdown in the relationship between the public and the police. You also said that the general public, the law abiding citizens, need to stand. I'm going to throw in something here. They need support. I know at the end of reports, all calls will be treated confidentially, but there are some citizens who don't trust that, who don't believe that. No, I know that there are a lot of things that are outside the individual's control. How do you treat, or how do you go about attempting to rectify the relationship between us and the police?
Well, I will speak from my end, and then I'm sure the sergeant will be able to speak from
Okay.
their end. my end in terms of the police youth club, that is one way we tend to bridge the gap, where we let the public know that the police is not just about arresting people. We are not just about persecuting persons, but we also have care for our society. We love this country. We put our lives on the line for this country. So we want to show that. Also, as it relates to confidentiality, I will always advise somebody. There have to be somebody you can trust. There have to be somebody you can trust. So sometimes I think that, to be honest, it has been used as an excuse not to come forward and do certain things. And I'm not going to step on the sergeant's domain. He'll be explaining more into detail. But I believe there has to be somebody you can. What you'll find sometimes is that persons have friends and they know persons through other means. When they want other things, they find to pick up the phone to call them. But when there's a crime committed and their information to be given, you hear them saying, oh, they don't trust the system or they don't trust the process. You don't have to trust the entire process. There has to be one person you can trust and believe that that person is confidential enough to keep your information safe in terms of not bring it back to you. You understand? And then the information can be trickled down to the relevant persons to take action. So the idea of people keep saying that, oh, every time they give the police, I don't think that, and I don't think I'm saying it is not true in my opinion. That is my opinion, right? And so I'm saying that is not true in my opinion. Yes, there are times when things like that may happen because, again, and I need to let persons know this, police officers didn't come from Mars. They are product of our society. They came from within your neighbor, these people you know. And the chances are there are going to be persons who slip through the crack, right? Who are not going to be confidential, right? So those chances exist. And, things like that happen. But to brand the entire force as such is totally unfair, again, in my opinion. And so there are means and measures for which you can channel that information and still remain anonymous. And nobody will know who you are because that person you trust will just get the information to somebody else. And it will not come from you directly, it come from another source. And that is how it is. That's how I see it. And so I said that the Sergeant Show will explain more about that in terms of confidentiality and what they're doing.
Okay.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier about members of the public have been fearful of sharing information with the police. And one of the issues they also have is that they fear that the police will not keep their information on a confidential basis, on a level of confidentiality. We at the Major Crime Unit, in dealing with these offenses, such as murders, we advise our witnesses, potential witnesses, that they must speak with any police officer they are comfortable with. Once they are willing to come forward with relevant information pertaining to a crime of murder, like murder, we invite them to speak to somebody in authority, maybe the commissioner or the deputy assistant commissioners. And we give them assurance that that information will be treated confidential. In case where they share the information with us and they give us a statement pertaining to a particular incident, then we now have to offer some form of protection because life is very important. We have instances where we have witnessed, and even though the perpetrator are being arrested and in the prison, they attempt to kill witness. The other members of the group, they try to kill witness. So we have to offer protection for that witness. And protection will not only be in St. Vincent, that witness can be moved abroad until the matter is ready for trial in the court. He or she will not have to come and face the perpetrator in a court to give evidence. They will give evidence from whichever location they are. So these are some of the things, witness protection. We offer witness protection. It may not be on a large scale, but it's something has been introduced for the protection of witnesses who are willing to come forward and give the police information on serious crimes as murders.
Okay. Joy?
And just to add what the sergeant said, explain it to the thing. Long as the sergeant Billy said earlier, there must be someone you can trust. If you believe you have information to solve a crime, be anonymous or speak to someone that you believe you can trust. And as we said, in my opinion, and again, it's not the entire system that you say you cannot trust. So there's an excuse to say this is you cannot trust the system. System is foolproof in terms of getting the job done. You just have to trust someone, and the process will go its way.
Okay. Some people they may trust, but they don't want to go through the rigors of having to make multiple statements, having to go into the respective stations and then go to court, and especially when it comes to like real crimes, it's a bit tedious depending on what is in place. Now, 8:33, we have to take a break and then we come back. I know you have an event coming up tomorrow as part of the crime prevention, and we would like some tips on how to prevent crime. All right. A lot of folks are involved in preventing crime in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the rest of the world. And we'll hear more about how you can play a part when we come back. Let's take a break.
At Royal Bliss Apartment Suites, you'll discover the true meaning of relaxation and comfort. Our contemporary and spacious suites are conveniently located less than 5 minutes from the capital, Kingstown, in Lodge Village, and are fully equipped to meet your needs. Whether you're on vacation, a business trip, or simply want to enjoy a staycation, book your stay with Royal Bliss Apartment Suites. Come, rest, relax, and recharge. Book with us right now. Call us at 495-8888 or email us at royalblissapartmentsuites@gmail.com.
Census 2023. They're counting you, they're counting me. Attention Vincentians. The 2023 Population and Housing Census is on. They're counting you, they're counting me. Census Day is June 15th, 2023. The data collection period runs from June 16th to September 15th, 2023. Your cooperation with the enumerators is vital. Do not turn them away. Give truthful information. The information collected will benefit the whole country. Remember, on this we must be united. Stand up and be counted. Stand up and be counted.
Let's get your laundry clean and fresh with the widest range of washing machines and dryers in SVG. At Singer, choose between our West Point and Speed Queen brands with an array of washing machines with payments starting as low as $92 per month. Your laundry room wouldn't be complete without a Whirlpool or Speed Queen electric or gas-operated dryer, saving your energy consumption. Also in stock is our West Point washer-dryer combo for only $136 per month. One machine that does the work of two. No need to change machines, just toss in your laundry and forget about it. Whether your preference in machines is top-loading or front-loading, whether you want a 9 kilogram or a larger 15 kilogram washer, whether you're looking for a gas or electric dryer, we've got it all at Singer. Visit us today and get the washing machine and dryer that's perfect for you. Singer, your family company.
I was looking for a cough syrup, looking for a drug to help this pain here in my throat. I needed something fast to help me with my cold. Then I turned around and there you go. I went into a store and I found what I needed when I shopped at
Super Health Pharmacy. We're located on Grenville Street, formerly Isles Boutique. Come in and check out our wide variety of over-the-counter prescriptions, medications, personal care products, and much more. Take advantage of our free delivery services, blood pressure, sugar, and cholesterol testing. Open open Mondays to Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call or WhatsApp us at 497-8737 or 457-8737. Super Health Pharmacy. Your health is our priority.
And I found what I needed when I shopped at Super Health.
We got stoves, cook it, fry it, bake it, stew it, poach it, eat it, drink it, slurp it. At Quartz, you can get it. We got fridges, slurp it, chill it, freeze it, store it, crisp it, pack it, and stack it. At Quartz, you can get it. Wash or dryer it, wash it, fluff it, spin it, dry it, clean it, fold it, wear it, sort it, and soak it. Rinse it, load it. FDA gon' make you blend it, crush it, toast it. At Quartz, you can get it.
It's the appliance event happening now, only at Quartz, bringing value home.
At Lynch Caribbean, yes, we offer comprehensive insurance solutions and broking, but we are more than an insurance broker. We drill down to your core business strategy. We keep a pulse on risk to keep your operations healthy.
On your mark, get set.
Along the way, helping you to drive competitive advantages. At Lynch Caribbean, we have your back. Contact us today for insurance solutions, strategic risk advisory, and more. Call 453-3300. Email info@lynchcaribbean.com or visit our office in Beachmont, Kingstown. Follow Lynch Caribbean SVG on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, or visit www.lynchcaribbean.com.
99.9 WEFM.
All right, welcome back to Cop Chat for today. In studio, we've got Mr. Stephen Billy, we've got Mr. Sion Choi, and we've also got in studio, let me get the other name. Hold on. Give me a second. All right, and they're all sergeants of police. Help me out here. Kasanki Ko, the brain fog. Excuse me. All right, now before we get back to the conversation, Frank B. Armstrong SPG Limited and Better Brands Distributors wish to inform their many customers and the general public that the businesses will be closed for the annual stock taking from Monday, July 3rd to Tuesday, July 4th, 2023. The accounts department will remain open to accept payments on accounts. Normal business will resume on Wednesday, July 5th of this year. The firms regret any inconvenience this closure may cause. Also, get the widest range of appliances at the Quartz Appliance event. Get up to 25% off fridges and small appliances. With a Whirlpool 30-inch 6-burner gas stove, you save you get it for $1,949, and you can save $450 on the Mabe 30-inch 6-burner gas stove for $2,349. Get an Oster 2-speed professional blender for only $399. You can save $800 on the Oster 20 cubic feet side-by-side refrigerator. Save $300 on an LG 11 cubic feet inverter refrigerator. The Mabe Twin Tub washer is going at $16.99, and you can save $750 on the Whirlpool 17 kilogram top loader washer. Shop our wow deals at Quartz St. Vincent Limited. And of course, we've got the widest range of appliances. Plus, if you shop now and pay us later with Quartz Ready Finance, you pay nothing down and there is no payment for 30 days. This offer is available in store and online at shopquartz.com. Of course, conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home. Now, do you want to talk about the tips first? Some things that the general public can do to prevent crime, or do you want to go to the event that's happening tomorrow?
Yes.
All right, so event first. What's happening
Yes.
tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're having our biennial exhibition, the first of two. And it's going to take place Friday the 30th of June 2023 outside the Central Police Station under the theme Building Resilient Communities Through Crime Prevention. And its starting time going to be 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on that day. And we're going to have internal participation along with external participation. So I'm going to name some internal participants that's going to be there to share some safety and awareness in what they do. We're going to have personnel from the narcotics division who are going to come and speak about illegal substances and the do's and don'ts. We're going to have a person from the RSPG Coast Guard going to be there to tell us about when you go to the beach, especially this holiday season, what to do, what not to do. Especially a lot of children going to be on the beaches and so on. So they will be there to give some safety tips on that. We have to have a person from the fire brigade section, tell you about the fire safety tips for your home and properties. We're going to have persons from the sexual offenses unit, from the anti-trafficking in person unit. We'll have a person from the traffic department going to tell you about road safety. We have a person from the human resource department in terms of your career path if you wish to join the organization.
Mhm.
And of course, the criminal investigation department, which is the brainchild of this crime prevention unit. And it was over the past 20 something years, I can't remember the exact date, but over 20 years since we having this crime prevention exhibition. And the crime CID will be there to tell person about the tips during the carnival season, especially the polymer notes feature of the counterfeit currency this time around. So a lot of information will be there on that day. And we have person from the external entities going to be present with us tomorrow. We have person from Lane's Hardware going to showcase their security products, the door, the locks, etc. We have person from the Guardsman SVG Limited, Providence Electronics, and Paladin SVG Limited. Then they have showcased their CCTV cameras, burglar alarms. So come and check them out. They will give you good detail in terms of that. We have Culture Man will be there showcasing his burger bars. If you want your burger bars built in super secure premises, check Culture Man. We have person from the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Ministry of Mobilization. We have person from Team Finance, formerly Fast Cash. We have the Police Cooperative Credit Union going to be there. We're going to have Courts and Vincent Limited going to showcase a product there tomorrow. And for the first time, we're going to have His Majesty Prison, person from the Majesty Prison going to be there showcasing some product from there. So it's a full showcase, full.
As in a prisoner?
Yes, the inmates and person who builds
The baskets.
baskets and so
Ooh,
on.
that
They're
is
gonna-
a good initiative.
Yeah, so
Make up to Miss Ridette.
yeah, so it's a good collaboration this year. So we're looking forward for the full participation of the public. And as you were saying earlier, and there is three pillars of crime prevention: is the desire, the ability, and the opportunity. And the citizens have a much to play in the latter part, the opportunity. So that is why the crime prevention come in. And the sergeant will tell you the tips that for sure can prevent crime
Mhm.
this carnival season.
Okay. Before you get to the tips, so you're telling me that these polymer notes,
Yeah, they have security features.
right? But have there been attempts at like counterfeiting these?
Yes,
I
one.
thought these were foolproof.
We will always make effort to counterfeit.
It's
It
plastic
is foolproof in that you cannot duplicate the features, the identification mark, genuine identification mark. That's what is foolproof is. It's not to say that somebody can't try to copy it. So that is why we are saying you must be there at our exhibition so you can get to see and learn what the features are in these notes, so that when somebody comes with something that looks similar, that you'll be able to identify it as genuine or counterfeit. So the
Honestly?
foolproofness come that they can't duplicate the genuine marks that are in these notes.
They will attempt.
But they will attempt to.
They will attempt.
And hence the reason why. Yes.
So that's why we're having the showcase tomorrow. To all of
Coming
these.
Yeah, you
to
need
find out about this, because honestly, I don't even pay attention to it. I just take the money and pay and go.
We'll have the experts there. We are not the expert on that, but there
Okay.
are persons who have trained and they'll be there to give you the information.
I'm gonna put back my money. All right, some crime prevention tips. Pay attention, people.
Well, we know this is our festive season, our national festival. We started from tomorrow, carnival season. And we as police officers are urging the general public to pay attention to crime prevention. We have to minimize the gap of perpetrators committing crimes against us and our property. Yes, we will leave our homes to come to Kingston to enjoy ourselves, but we will have to, first and foremost, do the necessary things to secure our homes. We have to ensure that our homes have burglar bars installed, proper locking system, and if possible, install CCTV cameras. When you leave your homes, do not put your key in an area where a person attempting to break into your house may look and find it. You can alert your neighbor, leave your keys, one copy of your key with the neighbor, and inform your neighbor of your movements just in the event of not only crime, but in any emergency. If you're coming into Kingston and you're taking along your children, I advise those persons to please supervise your children and don't leave them to stray away from you. Educate your children that if that happens, that the first police officer in uniform, they will go and report, well, I can't find my mother, and so forth, and give any relevant information pertaining to the parents. Our concern is those persons who are coming into town who are holders of firearm license. In the past, it posed problem for us where holders of firearms lost the firearms. And there are different ways in which this may occur. We will not advise a person who have a firearm, a licensed firearm, to lock the firearm into their vehicle and park the vehicle in an area which they may term as safe. No. If you're attending a show, say in the Victoria Park area, there will be a mobile station opposite the main entrance gate. What is expected of you is to log your firearm to the police who are on duty there. They will keep a record, they will hold the firearm for you, you attend your show, and then it will be returned to you. Because we have too much of firearms out there, and you losing a firearm is another firearm pointing at you and also at us. And it's more work for the police to recover that. Vehicle parking, yes. So come on at night, you might be anxious to go into the park to watch fireman who park because he might be singing at position number 4. But your vehicle, we advise you to use the paid parking. It may cost you $10 or more, but it is more secure than if you have to park your vehicle in a secluded area where there's not enough lighting and give the perpetrators out the chance to break into your vehicle, because once they get the opportunity to break into your vehicle, they will. We advise you when you park your vehicle as well, not to leave any valuables on your vehicle seats. Like cellular phone or jewelry or wallet, please hide them away in your vehicle so that in the event that anyone have to look into your vehicle, it will not attract thieves. So these are some of the things, and it could go on. The young ladies, they have to be mindful of routes which they would walk, which they would travel. We would advise them to, if you have to move from one point A to point B, try and do it in pairs, in groups. This will deter an offender from attacking you. And there are more. I could go on and on and on.
Let me just
Yeah.
add some of them. And let me talk about the ladies again, who will have those big bags, how you have those big bags on your shoulder. Right. So we're asking you that when you have those bags, a lot of the time you see persons walking down the street and the zip head is to the back and the bag is open. You can see their cash, you can see their cell phone and other valuables. We are saying firmly secure your bag under your arm properly, put the zip head to the front, make sure it is closed, not exposing what your contents are in your bag. And you see a lot of the ladies have to wear their cell phones in their back pockets, and it's always dangling halfway out of their pockets, and they walk in and they go in. In a crowd, it is the easiest thing to pick. Somebody bump on you on one side and the other side, and somebody relieve you of the cell phone. You'll not feel a thing. You'll never know it was removed, right? Even men with your wallets, same thing. You might think you're in a crowd and your wallet is down in your pocket. If you're in a crowd and people jumping up on you and they're booting up on you, somebody taking away your wallet from your back pocket, easy as squeeze, as we'll say. So you have to be mindful of these things. When you go into financial institutions or supermarkets or ATM, some persons come out with their monies in their hand and they check in and all these kind of things. Even in the bank, they're inside there and they're withdrawing a large amount of cash. You have to be mindful of these things. And what we are saying, if that is the case, you're inside the ATM, tuck away your money before you come outside, right? And it's also the financial institution. If you know you're going to have to take a large sum of monies, even especially around this time, ask the tellers if there's a way you can, get the money into an envelope under the counter, get it secured as quickly as possible, and get out. When you get out, you have to observe your environment. You have to watch who's watching you or who's pretending not to watch you. That way, in case somebody, a perpetrator, rob you or steal from you, you can give the police some description, like their height, their complexion, if they have a tattoo, if they have a scar, if they wear earring, the color of their clothing, their build. All these things we must pay attention to, right? These are things that we must definitely pay attention to. When you come into Kingstown, people like to wear their big links, chain, and the flossing, as they don't say, all kind of bangle, all kind of thing. We are saying that it's carnival. You come in for a party and you don't need all that jewelry. But in case you decide you want to wear it, it's yours. At least secure it somewhat. If you have your chains, put them down inside of your t-shirts, whatever you're wearing. That way it's difficult for somebody to snatch it from your neck and run with it, right? And if you know you can't drink, there are some persons who drink and they lie down by the side of the road sleeping with their cell phones, their wallet full with money, their expensive shoes and expensive jewelry. When they wake up, everything gone. And they come to the police expecting miracle. They don't even know who robbed them, right? So the point is, we are saying, if you know you can't hold your liquor like that, walk with only enough money that is necessary. If you don't have anybody else, like a clique or a friend, you could go with you. So that in case that happens to you, and it's carnival where you want the most expensive shoes for, understand? Don't attract yourself to be a victim for criminals. Don't make yourself an attraction then. And next thing, the ladies and drinks. Men too, because, people drug everybody. Right? And be careful. Somebody offer you a drink and you're willing to take that drink, make sure you're there to see the drink poured. Or if it is going to be open, make sure you're there to see it open. Because people will drug your drink to get to sexually assault you or rob you or do some other thing to you. Right? So these are tips you want people to know. These are very important that people must learn to protect themselves and their property. Businesses. There are some businesses who are, we consider $1 million businesses, but yet they have like $10 security. You can't have that. You have to invest in your own security. You can't then put your hands up in the air and say, oh, you must have some sort of burglar alarm, burglar bar, silent alarm. Let it link to whatever firm that you are with or even to the police. And that way, when the time comes, you will be able better to protect your property. Yes, we can't stop people who make up their mind from committing a crime. But what we can do, preventing them from being successful by our efforts and the things that we do. The sergeant mentioned some of the things already. I don't want to go back over them. But I just want to touch on the children in town, not just those that come with parents, but who their parents send children with to these shows while they're at home. Children with children, nobody has no self-control. For the first time, a child might be drinking alcohol because they were into juice or smoking marijuana or some other drug. Why? Because they let them loose with persons who are irresponsible. And then crimes are committed against these young ladies. Sometimes a young lady go home and feel that she had sex. She knows she didn't give anybody sex. She was raped. She don't know who raped her, but she's not going to report it. She ain't going to tell nobody because she's ashamed, one. And two, she doesn't know anyway what happened. So these are ways you have to be so mindful. Criminal activities could take place not by somebody, by neglect as a parent. Leaving your children home unattended without proper supervision. That is a criminal activity, especially young children. You know, sometimes you hear fire, children lost their life in fire because parents were not at home and there's no proper supervision of these children. You're leaving children to raise children. This is just wrong. Understand? And that is why sometimes when you see certain things in terms of these videos going around on social media with children doing certain sexual acts, you wonder where they got these things from. Neglect from parents at times start them off. And Sergeant Troy will tell you about the Cybercrime Act in terms of that. That's an offense too. You understand? So if you have a video, if you come by a video of any of these things, especially involving children, you're supposed to call the police. When you share them or keep them inside of your phone, you're committing offense under the Cybercrime Act for child pornography. You understand? So these are the things that we're asking persons to do to make St. Vincent and the Grenadines a safer place. Come tomorrow, there's much, much more information on display, on offer for free. So if you love free things, we have free information. Don't worry yourself, you don't have to pay for it. It is free. Just come out, be a part, learn as much as you can, secure yourself, secure your family, secure your property, by extension, secure St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that is what crime prevention is really about.
8:58 is the time. We've got 2 minutes to wrap up. And that was for the morning. That was a lot of information to take in. It's almost like a whole course. But I will encourage persons, I know you're going to be in town tomorrow, to pass by in front of the Central Police Station and take in as much information as you possibly can, because you never know when it could be useful. I'm tempted to ask, you have not mentioned Pan Against Crime. I mean, the name by itself, Pan Against. Okay. All right.
Crime Against Crime initiative is one from the government itself. Yes, we do collaborate with that aspect of it in terms of, and all those are part of the holistic approach towards crime prevention. Yes, the police plays an integral part of that as well. And so, yes, that is another means for which, where PAN sides were given to different communities and schools, encouraging children and younger persons to join, find a group of persons or people who are having positive impact on your life. And by the same time, learning a skill. You can go on some cruise ship and play some other places and earn monies. You understand? So yes, the crime prevention, the Pan Against Crime initiative is also one of those initiatives instituted by the government of St. Vincent and Grenadines, also enacted through the police force to ensure that we help our youth stay away from a life of crime and violence and give them something positive to do and to be a part of.
All right, 9 o'clock is the time. We got to wrap things up. Thank you so much, John Ron, for taking the time out to join us today for today's edition of Cop Chat. It was a wealth of information. I'm hoping that people took in as much as possible. And if you missed anything, go back on the live at WEFM 99 SVG with your little notebook and your pen and what's not, and make your little jottings to make sure that you, your property, and everything around you is well protected. Not only this carnival season, but beyond. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Have a blessed day.
All right, take care. And that brings us to the end of Cop Chat for today. It's 9:01 now. The Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines brings to you at this time the ECCB bank rates.
Brick by brick, piece by piece, building with technology, helping wealth increase, starting small, building the future.